The signal arrived on an ordinary Tuesday morning, cutting through the background noise of space like a razor. Dr. Sarah Chen had been tracking deep space anomalies at the Arecibo Observatory for 15 years, but nothing had prepared her for what she was seeing. The pattern was unmistakably artificial, a series of prime numbers followed by complex mathematical sequences that no natural phenomenon could produce. "James, are you seeing this?" She called out to her colleague, Dr. James Rodriguez, who was already rushing to her station, coffee forgotten in his hand. The signal wasn't just clear, it was powerful, as if whoever sent it wanted to make absolutely certain it would be received. Within hours, every major observatory across the globe confirmed the same signal. Humanity wasn't alone anymore, and whoever was out there wanted to talk. The first message was deceptively simple. "Greetings, children of Earth. We are the Consortium of Advanced Civilizations, and we come in peace." The translation matrix they provided made communication possible, though the implications of their ability to learn and process Earth's languages so quickly should have been our first warning. Dr. Chen led the initial response team, working alongside linguists and cryptographers to establish a dialogue with the consortium. Their representatives spoke of unity, technological advancement, and the promise of lifting humanity into a new age of prosperity. Their ships, when they finally appeared in high orbit, were works of art, crystalline structures that seemed to bend light itself around them. But Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The consortium's questions, while seemingly innocent, always circled back to Earth's biological diversity, our genetic adaptability, and our resilience as a species. They were particularly interested in humanity's ability to survive in extreme conditions and our rapid technological progress over the past century. Admiral Helena Torres of the United Earth Defense Council shared Sarah's concerns. During a classified meeting at the underwater facility in the Pacific, she presented her findings. "Their ships aren't just in high orbit," she explained, pointing to thermal imaging data. "They're positioning themselves in a grid pattern that covers every major population center on Earth." The consortium's diplomatic team, led by an entity that called itself Ambassador Nexus, continued their charm offensive. They offered medical technology that could cure most known diseases, energy solutions that could end Earth's dependence on fossil fuels, and the promise of faster-than-light travel. Each gift came with strings attached, treaties, agreements, and protocols that would gradually cede more control to consortium oversight. Dr. Chen's breakthrough came 3 months into the diplomatic exchange. Working with quantum computing specialist Dr. Marcus Wong, she discovered a pattern in the consortium's transmissions that didn't match their translation matrix. Hidden beneath their diplomatic messages was a second layer of communication, encrypted but not completely unbreakable to human ingenuity. "They're not here to help us," Sarah announced to the emergency session of the UN Security Council. "They're cataloging us. Every gift, every medical scan, every cultural exchange. They're assessing our potential as a resource." The decoded messages revealed the truth. Earth wasn't chosen for diplomatic contact by chance. The consortium had identified humanity as an ideal labor force, adaptable, intelligent enough to operate complex machinery, but theoretically manageable with the right application of advanced technology. More importantly, Earth's unique biological diversity represented a treasure trove of genetic material that could be exploited for the consortium's bioengineering programs. What the consortium hadn't counted on was humanity's capacity for innovation under pressure. While their ships loomed overhead, Dr. Chen and her team worked tirelessly in secret facilities buried deep beneath the Earth's surface. They studied every scrap of data from the consortium's transmissions, every fluctuation in their energy signatures, searching for weaknesses in their seemingly impenetrable technology. The key came from an unexpected source. Dr. Rodriguez, analyzing the crystalline structure of a gift from the consortium, a supposedly simple atmospheric purification device, discovered that their technology relied heavily on quantum entanglement for both communication and power distribution. This dependency, while incredibly efficient, could also be their Achilles heel. As the consortium's grid of ships grew more complete, humanity raced against time. In hidden laboratories across the globe, scientists worked to develop a defense that could protect Earth without revealing their hand too soon. The consortium's representatives grew more insistent in their requests for cultural exchange programs that would have seen millions of humans transferred to off-world facilities for training. Admiral Torres understood what they were really planning: the systematic removal of Earth's most capable populations under the guise of educational opportunities. But humanity had learned from its own history of colonization. This time, the supposed primitive species wasn't going to be caught unprepared. As the first part of their plan drew to a close, Dr. Chen stood at her window in the Arecibo facility, watching the consortium ships glitter like false stars in the night sky. Humanity had always looked to the stars with hope and wonder, dreaming of the day we would make contact with alien civilizations. Now that day had come, but instead of the hand of friendship, we had found ourselves facing the velvet glove that concealed a steel fist. But the consortium had made a crucial mistake. In their arrogance, they had given humanity just enough of their technology to understand its principles, assuming we could never master it quickly enough to pose a threat. They hadn't counted on human determination, creativity, or our long history of fighting against overwhelming odds. As Sarah turned back to her workstation, a message from Admiral Torres flashed across her screen. Project Breakthrough is ready. Commence Phase 2. The real test of humanity's resolve was about to begin. Project Breakthrough began in the depths of the Mariana Trench, in a facility so deep that even the consortium's advanced scanning technology couldn't penetrate its location. Dr. Marcus Wong stood before a holographic display of the consortium's communication network, watching as streams of quantum-encrypted data flowed between their ships like rivers of light. Their entire network operates on a quantum entanglement principle we've never seen before, he explained to the gathered military and scientific leaders. But every system, no matter how advanced, has its vulnerabilities. We've found theirs. The discovery had come at a heavy price. 3 research stations had been sacrificed, allowing themselves to be inspected by consortium representatives to gather crucial data about their technology. The scientists at those stations knew they would likely be among the first taken when the consortium began their real operation. They accepted the risk without hesitation. Admiral Torres studied the display with narrowed eyes. How much of their network can we access? That's the interesting part, Dr. Chen interjected, stepping forward. Their quantum network isn't just a communication system. It's the backbone of their entire technological infrastructure. Ships, weapons, even their artificial gravity generators. Everything is connected through quantum entanglement. The implications were staggering. The consortium's technological superiority was built on a foundation that humanity was starting to understand. More importantly, they had discovered a way to interfere with it. But time was running out. The consortium's patience was wearing thin. Ambassador Nexus had become more insistent in their demands for Earth to accept their guidance. Their ships had begun moving into lower orbits, a clear show of force that couldn't be ignored. In secret bunkers across the globe, humanity's response was taking shape. Dr. Rodriguez led the development of quantum interference generators, devices that could create localized disruptions in the consortium's network. Each generator was small, barely larger than a coffee maker, but together they formed a weapon that could challenge an empire. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Lisa Chen, Sarah's 16-year-old daughter, had been watching old videos of noise-canceling headphones while doing her homework. "Mom," she had said, "if their network is like a wave, couldn't we create an anti-wave?" That simple question had led to the development of the quantum phase inverter, a device that could potentially turn the consortium's greatest strength into their greatest weakness. But testing it would reveal their hand, and they would only get one chance. The consortium's true nature became impossible to ignore when they began the first phase of their cultural exchange. Ships descended over major cities, their crystalline surfaces reflecting the sun like artificial diamonds. The message they broadcast was carefully worded but clear. Resistance would be met with overwhelming force. In New Delhi, millions watched as a consortium ship positioned itself above the city. Ambassador Nexus's voice echoed through every communication device. Your species has been chosen for elevation. Prepare for systematic relocation to begin. But humanity had prepared for this moment. As the consortium ships moved into position, a hidden network of quantum sensors tracked their every movement. In underground facilities, teams of scientists and military personnel stood ready. The plan they had developed was audacious, perhaps even desperate, but it was built on a foundation of human innovation and courage. Dr. Wang's team had discovered that the consortium's ships created subtle distortions in the quantum field, like ripples in a pond. These distortions could be detected, measured, and most importantly, predicted. Using this knowledge, they had mapped the entire network that connected the consortium's fleet. Admiral Torres coordinated with military leaders worldwide from the Mariana facility. All stations, report status, she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. North American Defense Grid, ready. European Coalition, standing by. Asian Pacific Alliance, prepared. African Union, in position. South American Federation, awaiting orders. For the first time in human history, every nation on Earth was working in perfect coordination. They had to. Humanity's survival depended on it. The consortium gave them no choice but to act when they launched their first collection operation. Massive transport ships descended over Seoul, their energy fields capable of lifting thousands of people simultaneously into their holds. But as the ships engaged their collection fields, humanity revealed its hand. Dr. Chen initiated the quantum phase inverters. Across the globe, thousands of small devices activated simultaneously, each generating a precise quantum interference pattern. The effect was immediate and devastating. The consortium's transport ships faltered, their crystalline surfaces clouding as their quantum network experienced disruption on a scale they had never encountered. Ambassador Nexus's response was immediate and furious. What have you done? The carefully maintained diplomatic facade cracked, revealing the cold calculation beneath. This primitive interference will not be tolerated. You cannot hope to resist the consortium's will. But humanity's plan was only beginning to unfold. Dr. Rodriguez's team had developed a way to use the consortium's own quantum network against them. Each interference pattern was carefully calibrated, creating a cascade effect that rippled through their entire fleet. The consortium had built their empire on the assumption that no lesser species could comprehend, let alone manipulate, their quantum technology. That assumption was now proving to be their greatest vulnerability. As their ships struggled to maintain stability, humanity revealed its final card. Dr. Wang activated the quantum resonance cascade, a device that amplified the disruptive effects exponentially. The consortium's mighty fleet, which had conquered countless worlds, found itself trapped by its own technological dependency. This is Admiral Helena Torres of the United Earth Defense Council. Her voice transmitted on all frequencies. Your attempt to subjugate humanity has failed. We have demonstrated our capability to disable your entire fleet. Withdraw immediately, or we will be forced to escalate our response. The silence that followed was deafening. In orbit, the consortium's ships hung motionless, their quantum systems in disarray. Ambassador Nexus's response, when it came, carried a note of something the consortium had likely never experienced before: uncertainty. How? The question contained volumes of disbelief. Your species was assessed as technologically inferior. This level of quantum manipulation should be impossible. Dr. Chen allowed herself a small smile as she monitored the quantum disruption patterns. You made the mistake of underestimating human ingenuity, she replied, and our determination to remain free. As the second phase of humanity's defense concluded, the world held its breath. The consortium's response would determine whether this was the end of the conflict or merely the beginning of a larger war. But one thing was certain: humanity had proven it would not be easily conquered. In orbit, the consortium ships began to move, their crystalline surfaces flickering as they struggled to maintain cohesion. The next few hours would determine the fate of both species, and humanity was ready for whatever came next. The quantum disruption had worked better than anyone had dared to hope, but victory came with complications no one had predicted. As the consortium ships struggled to maintain their positions in Earth's orbit, their destabilized quantum fields began to interact with Earth's magnetosphere in ways that Dr. Chen's team had never anticipated. The disruption is causing quantum cascade effects throughout their fleet, Dr. Wang reported, his fingers flying over holographic displays. But there's something else happening. Their ship's quantum fields are creating distortions in local spacetime. The first signs appeared over the Pacific Ocean. Massive aurora-like displays lit up the sky, but these weren't caused by solar radiation. The quantum interference was creating tears in the fabric of reality itself, windows into something that human science had only theorized about. Admiral Torres received urgent reports from observation posts worldwide. Multiple anomalies detected in the upper atmosphere. Energy readings are off the charts. The consortium's response to humanity's defense had been unexpected. Instead of immediate retaliation, their ships had entered a holding pattern, maintaining their positions despite the quantum disruption. Ambassador Nexus's next transmission carried none of the previous diplomatic pretense. "You have demonstrated unexpected capabilities." The ambassador's voice crackled through quantum static. "But you do not understand the forces you are manipulating. The quantum resonance cascade you have initiated will have consequences beyond your comprehension." Dr. Rodriguez's analysis confirmed their worst fears. The quantum disruption wasn't just affecting the consortium's ships, it was creating a feedback loop that threatened to tear open the quantum fabric of space itself. The very technology that had given humanity a fighting chance now posed a risk to the entire planet. "We need to shut down the quantum inverters," Sarah Chen argued during the emergency council meeting. "The cascade effect is becoming self-sustaining." But Admiral Torres saw the strategic implications immediately. "If we deactivate our defenses, we'll be vulnerable. The consortium won't hesitate to strike back." The decision was taken out of their hands when the first quantum rift appeared over Beijing. It started as a shimmer in the air, like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Within minutes, it had grown into a swirling vortex of energy that defied all known laws of physics. Through the quantum interference, Ambassador Nexus transmitted again. "What you have witnessed is merely the beginning. The quantum technology you have crudely manipulated is connected to forces your species cannot begin to understand. We offered you elevation for a reason." Dr. Wang's instruments detected something new, energy signatures emerging from the quantum rifts that matched nothing in their database. These readings, they're similar to the consortium's quantum network, but far more complex. It's as if the disruption has caught the attention of something else. The revelation hit Dr. Chen like a physical blow. The consortium's apparent retreat wasn't just about humanity's defense. They were afraid of what the quantum disruption might attract. Lisa Chen, who had remained at her mother's side throughout the crisis, was the first to make the connection. "Mom, what if the consortium isn't the top of the food chain? What if there's something out there that even they're afraid of?" The quantum rifts continued to multiply, each one larger than the last. Through them, strange lights and impossible geometries became visible, glimpses of something that existed beyond normal space and time. Admiral Torres ordered the activation of secondary defense protocols. Around the globe, conventional military forces were mobilized, not against the consortium, but in preparation for something potentially far worse. The consortium's next transmission was directed not to Earth's leaders, but to Dr. Chen personally. "You must deactivate the quantum disruption immediately." Ambassador Nexus's voice had lost all pretense of superiority, replaced by something that sounded almost like fear. "What you have done has drawn their attention." "Whose attention?" Sarah demanded, but she already suspected the answer. "There are entities that exist in the quantum substrate of reality," the ambassador explained. "Ancient beings that feed on quantum energy. We discovered them millennia ago, and we have been running from them ever since. Your quantum cascade has created a beacon that they cannot ignore. The monitoring stations around the world began picking up new signals, patterns that made the consortium's quantum technology look primitive by comparison. Through the rifts, massive shadows began to move, defying description in any human language. Dr. Wong's quantum sensors were registering energy levels that threatened to overwhelm their systems. Whatever's coming through those rifts, it's operating on principles that make the consortium's technology look like stone tools. Humanity found itself faced with an impossible choice. The quantum disruption that had saved them from the consortium's domination was now threatening to expose Earth to something far more dangerous. But deactivating their defenses would leave them vulnerable to their original enemy. Admiral Torres gathered Earth's military and scientific leadership for an emergency session. "We need options," she demanded. "We've proven we can fight against advanced technology, but how do we defend against something that exists partly outside of our reality?" Dr. Chen had been studying the quantum rift's energy patterns, and she had noticed something crucial. The rifts aren't just tiers in space. They're following specific mathematical patterns. If we can understand these patterns, we might be able to control them. The consortium ships, still struggling against the quantum disruption, began to move into new formations. Whether they were preparing to flee or fight remained unclear. "We need to make a decision," Dr. Rodriguez insisted. "Those rifts are growing more stable by the minute. Once whatever's on the other side fully manifests in our reality, we might not be able to stop it." Lisa Chen, who had been quietly working on her tablet throughout the crisis, suddenly spoke up. "What if we don't have to choose between fighting the consortium and stopping these entities? What if we could use one against the other?" The idea was audacious, perhaps even insane, but it sparked something in Dr. Chen's mind. The quantum disruption hadn't just revealed humanity's defensive capabilities. It had exposed a truth about the galaxy that the consortium had been hiding for millennia. As the quantum rifts continued to grow, and the shadows within them moved closer to our reality, humanity prepared to make a gamble that would either save Earth or condemn it. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of human civilization, but possibly the nature of reality itself in our corner of the galaxy. Lisa Chen's idea sparked a wave of frantic activity in the Mariana facility. As the quantum rifts pulsed with increasing intensity in the skies above, humanity's best minds raced to implement what might be their only chance for survival. "The entities are attracted to quantum energy," Dr. Chen explained to the Emergency Council, her daughter's calculations displayed on the main screen. "The consortium's entire civilization is built on quantum technology. We don't need to fight either of them. We just need to redirect their attention to each other." The plan was as brilliant as it was dangerous. By modifying their quantum disruption field, they could theoretically create a resonance pattern that would draw the entity's attention primarily to the consortium's ships rather than Earth. But the margin for error was microscopic. "If we get this wrong," Dr. Wong warned, "we could end up making Earth an even more attractive target. The mathematics involved are beyond anything we've ever attempted." Admiral Torres studied the projections with a grim expression. "How long until those entities fully manifest in our reality?" "At the current rate of quantum rift expansion, less than 6 hours," Dr. Rodriguez reported. "Once they're here, our models can't predict what they'll be capable of." Above Earth, the consortium fleet had begun to show signs of panic. Their ships were attempting to activate their quantum drives despite the disruption field, leading to dangerous energy fluctuations that only made the rifts grow faster. Ambassador Nexus's next transmission contained no threats, only a desperate plea. "You don't understand what you're dealing with. These entities don't just destroy civilizations, they consume them. Every trace of their existence, every quantum of energy, devoured and converted into something our universe was never meant to contain." But Sarah Chen saw something in the ambassador's terror that gave her hope. "They're more afraid of these entities than anything else. Fear makes people, and aliens, predictable. We can use that." The plan came together in stages. First, they would need to modify the quantum disruption field to create specific resonance patterns. Dr. Wang's team worked tirelessly to reprogram the global network of quantum inverters, each adjustment bringing them closer to their goal or risking catastrophic failure. Lisa Chen, working alongside her mother, had discovered something crucial in the quantum mathematics. The entities aren't just attracted to quantum energy, they're attracted to specific frequencies. If we can tune our disruption field just right, we can essentially create a quantum lens that will focus their attention where we want it. The consortium's ships continued their desperate attempts to escape, but each activation of their quantum drives only served to make them more visible to the things emerging from the rifts. Strange geometries began to take shape in the sky, visible even to the naked eye. Impossible angles and colors that human minds struggle to process. "We're ready for the first test," Dr. Rodriguez announced, starting with a localized modification over the Pacific. The effect was immediate and terrifying. The quantum rifts responded to the changed frequency, their swirling energies beginning to coalesce and move with purpose. Through their sensors, they could detect the entity's attention shifting, drawn to the new pattern like moths to a flame. Ambassador Nexus's voice crackled through once more. "What are you doing? The pattern changes. You're drawing them directly to us. We're giving you a choice." Admiral Torres responded. "You can either work with us to survive this, or you can face these entities alone. Your quantum technology makes you a perfect target, but together we might find a way to drive them back." The silence that followed was tense. On screens throughout the facility, they watched as the consortium ships held position, caught between the human threat below and the cosmic horror above. "You propose cooperation." The ambassador's voice had changed, the arrogance replaced by something closer to respect. "After what we attempted, we're proposing survival," Dr. Chen answered. "For all of us. But it has to be on equal terms. No more attempts at conquest, no more treating us as inferior beings. We've proven we can be either powerful allies or dangerous enemies." Time was running out. The entities were becoming more substantial with each passing moment, their presence warping the very fabric of reality around Earth. The quantum rifts had grown large enough to swallow cities whole, their edges crackling with energies that defied measurement. The consortium's response came just as the largest rift began to pulse with imminent manifestation. "We accept. Tell us what you need." What followed was perhaps the most remarkable cooperation in human history. Working with the consortium's quantum specialists, Dr. Chen's team refined their resonance patterns, while Dr. Wang integrated their more advanced understanding of quantum mechanics into the disruption field. The entities, now almost fully manifested, began to take forms that strained the limits of human perception. Vast geometries of light and darkness that seemed to exist in more dimensions than our universe should allow. But as they reached for Earth, they found their attention increasingly drawn to the carefully crafted quantum frequencies being broadcast from the combined human consortium defense network. Lisa Chen, her young mind somehow better able to grasp the impossible mathematics they were working with, made the final breakthrough. "If we modulate the frequency just so, we can create a quantum feedback loop. When they reach for the energy, they'll essentially be trying to consume themselves." The plan was dangerous. If it worked, the resulting quantum cascade would be powerful enough to tear open a hole in space-time itself. But if it failed, Earth and the consortium fleet would be the entity's first victims in this realm of space. As the entities made their final approach, humanity and the consortium acted together. The modified quantum disruption field activated globally, creating a precise pattern of energy that turned the entity's own nature against them. The sky above Earth became a battlefield of impossible physics and reality warping forces. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, the world held its breath. Then, with a silent flash that everyone on Earth somehow heard in their minds, the entities were drawn into their own quantum feedback loop. The rifts began to close, reality knitting itself back together as the threat was pulled back into whatever dimension it had emerged from. In the aftermath, As the skies cleared and the world tried to make sense of what had happened, humanity found itself in an unprecedented position. They had not only successfully defended against an advanced alien civilization, but had also helped save that same civilization from a threat they had been running from for millennia. Ambassador Nexus's final transmission of the day carried none of its original condescension. Perhaps we have much to learn from each other after all. 1 year after the quantum crisis, Earth had changed in ways that would have been impossible to predict. The Mariana facility, once a secret installation, had become the center of a new era of human consortium cooperation. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at her familiar observation window, but now she watched consortium ships working alongside human vessels, their quantum technologies harmoniously integrated with Earth's innovations. "It's still hard to believe sometimes," Dr. Rodriguez said, joining her at the window. "A year ago, we were fighting for our survival. Now we're teaching them about quantum mathematics while they help us reach for the stars." The partnership had emerged from necessity, but had grown into something more. The consortium, humbled by both humanity's resistance and their crucial role in defeating the quantum entities, had been forced to reevaluate their entire approach to emerging civilizations. "The latest quantum shielding tests are complete," Lisa Chen announced, entering the room with a tablet displaying complex mathematical models. At 17, she had become one of the leading experts in the new field of quantum harmonics, her young mind able to grasp concepts that bridged human and consortium understanding. The quantum shielding was perhaps the most important development to emerge from their cooperation. Based on the principles they had used to drive back the entities, it created a protective field that made both Earth and consortium worlds less visible to quantum-sensitive threats that might lurk in the depths of space. Admiral Torres, now serving as Earth's representative on the newly formed Galactic Defense Council, had overseen the implementation of these defenses across human space. "We're not just protecting ourselves anymore," she often said. "We're helping to secure the future of multiple civilizations." The consortium had undergone its own transformation. Ambassador Nexus, in what had become a historic broadcast, had formally apologized to humanity for their attempted subjugation. More importantly, they had shared the full truth about their history, how their empire had been built on running from the quantum entities, conquering worlds not just for resources, but in a desperate search for new ways to hide from the ancient threat. Dr. Wang's team had made another crucial discovery during their continued research. The entities weren't just random cosmic horrors, he explained during a joint human consortium conference. They were drawn to quantum technology because they're sensitive to distortions in reality. In a way, our use of quantum mechanics was like ringing a dinner bell across the cosmos. This understanding had led to a fundamental shift in how both humanity and the consortium approached technological development. Instead of relying solely on quantum systems, they began developing hybrid technologies that combined quantum efficiency with human innovation in ways that minimized their quantum signature. The changes weren't just technological. Earth's nations, united by the crisis, had maintained their cooperation. The United Earth Defense Council had evolved into a global governance body that worked alongside traditional governments, coordinating humanity's expansion into space and their interactions with alien civilizations. Lisa Chen's contribution to this new era couldn't be overstated. Her initial insight about quantum frequencies had evolved into a complete theoretical framework that both humans and the consortium used to understand the relationship between quantum mechanics and higher dimensional space. "We were looking at it all wrong," she explained during a lecture that was broadcast across Earth and consortium space. "The entities weren't invaders. They were more like antibodies responding to damage we were causing to the fabric of spacetime. By understanding their nature, we can learn to use quantum technology without attracting their attention." The consortium's vast database of conquered civilizations had been opened to human researchers, revealing patterns that no one had noticed before. Dr. Chen led a team studying these records, discovering that other species had developed similar defensive innovations when faced with extinction. The consortium's mistake had been to conquer rather than cooperate, missing countless opportunities for genuine advancement. Every species has something to contribute, Ambassador Nexus acknowledged during a ceremony marking the first year of cooperation. Humanity taught us that strength comes not from domination, but from diversity and adaptation. The quantum entities hadn't been seen since their defeat, but their influence remained. Every new advancement in quantum technology was carefully tested against the possibility of drawing their attention. This caution had led to more sustainable and innovative solutions to technological challenges. Earth's cities had been transformed by the integration of safe quantum technology. Clean energy, advanced medical care, and faster-than-light communication had become commonplace. But humanity had insisted on maintaining their independence, developing their own versions of these technologies rather than simply adopting consortium designs. Dr. Rodriguez's work on quantum entanglement had led to a breakthrough in interstellar travel. By carefully managing quantum signatures, ships could now achieve faster-than-light travel without risking attention from dimensional entities. The first human-designed interstellar vessels were already under construction, preparing to carry explorers to distant stars. "We're not just surviving anymore," Admiral Torres remarked during the launch ceremony for humanity's first deep space exploration fleet. "We're thriving, and we're helping others thrive too." The consortium had begun to change its approach to other emerging civilizations, with humanity serving as advisors in first contact situations. The empire of conquest was gradually transforming into a true confederation of equals, each species contributing its unique perspectives and innovations. Sarah Chen found herself reflecting on how far they had come as she watched her daughter work with a team of human and consortium scientists. The quantum mathematics they were developing would help protect countless civilizations while allowing for continued technological advancement. It was a legacy that would echo through the ages. "Mom," Lisa called out, excitement in her voice, "I think we found something new in the quantum patterns, something that could change everything again." Looking at the complex equations flowing across the screens, Sarah smiled. A year ago, they had fought for humanity's survival. Now they were helping to chart the course for multiple civilizations' futures. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity had proven they were ready to face whatever it might throw at them. As the sun set over the Pacific, casting golden light through the facility's windows, Sarah Chen thought about the message they had sent to the consortium that first day, when invasion seemed imminent. They had warned that humanity wouldn't be easily conquered, that they would fight back with unexpected strength and innovation. They had done more than that. They had shown that true strength lies not in conquest, but in cooperation, not in domination, but in diversity. As humanity took its place among the stars, they carried with them a simple truth. The greatest victories come not from defeating enemies, but from turning them into allies. The quantum entities remained a mystery, a reminder that the universe held more wonders and terrors than any civilization could face alone. But humanity had shown that with courage, innovation, and cooperation, even the most terrifying challenges could be overcome. The future stretched out before them, full of possibilities and potential. Humanity had not just survived, they had helped reshape the galaxy's future, proving that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe isn't technology or quantum physics, but the simple human qualities of determination, creativity, and hope.